He ruled Europe with iron will, shattered empires with lightning tactics, and remade warfare forever. This is Napoleon Bonaparte, the genius general whose battlefield brilliance still echoes 200 years later. Throughout history, there has never been a shortage of great military leaders. Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Genghis Khan, just to name a few. But one man stands out amongst them all. A small, short man with a big heart and an even bigger ego. He was known as the master strategist, the king of the battlefield, the one and only Napoleon. Now, most people know Napoleon as the guy who lost a battle against a guy with a funny hat. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today, we're going to tell the real story of Napoleon, the greatest general in history. Napoleon was born in the year 1769 on the 15th of August in Aix, on the beautiful Mediterranean island of Corsica, which at that time was a part of Italy. Growing up, he had all the makings of a great leader, a charismatic personality, an ambitious drive, and a severe ego problem. He attended French military schools, excelled in mathematics and artillery, a skill that would define him as a leader. With his explosive personality, Napoleon quickly rose through the ranks, becoming a general at the age of just 27 during the French Revolution. His first real test came when he was sent to put down a rebellion in his native Corsica. But it didn't take long for Napoleon to realize that the Corsicans weren't rebelling against France. They were rebelling against him. It seemed that Napoleon's fellow Corsicans didn't appreciate his ambition as much as we do now. In 1798, at just 29, Napoleon led a campaign to Egypt and Syria. Though he failed militarily like failing to seize Acre, he strategically advanced his image as a bold conqueror. His troops discovered the Rosetta Stone, bringing Egyptology to Europe's attention. The campaign showcased his capacity to wield propaganda, combining scholarly zeal with military ambition. Napoleon's battlefield brilliance lay in mobility, coordination, and centralized command. He organized his armies into flexible, semi-autonomous corps, each capable of marching independently and combining swiftly in battle. As a former artillery officer, he concentrated his cannons at decisive points, softening enemies before infantry charges. In 1805, Napoleon went on to win a series of brilliant victories against the Austrians, solidifying his reputation as a military genius. In fact, he was so brilliant that the French people made him emperor. And so at the age of just 35, Napoleon Bonaparte found himself at the peak of power, controlling much of Europe. It seemed that Napoleon could do no wrong. But then came the Russians. Napoleon's ego was so big that he thought he could defeat Russia. But we all know how that one ended. And in the end, Napoleon would be forced to abdicate the throne and spend his final days in exile on a tiny island off the coast of Italy. There he would live out the remainder of his days, writing his memoirs and planning his revenge. Sadly, Napoleon would never get the chance to make a comeback because he died of stomach cancer in 1821. But that doesn't mean that we can't still learn from his example. Napoleon is a reminder that even the greatest of us can fall if we let our egos get the better of us. But it's also a reminder that even in defeat, we can still teach history, and that sometimes the greatest victories are the ones we never even have to fight. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.